midlife from all different angles. So firstly, I'll tell you this. The story is basically my neighbour who is 20 in mind, but in her 70s in body, and a little bit infirm. She, her dog's very unwell and has only got days, possibly weeks to live, and needed to have a suppository. I'm sure you don't necessarily want to hear the details, but she had to have a suppository for relaxant after having fits, and my neighbour couldn't do it. So I was kind of half expecting a phone call yesterday asking if I could help after she had a fit, and it took me a while to work it out, to be honest. Lots of trial and error, as with anything in life, and eventually managed, and she managed to calm down, and she's been very calm ever since, which is great news. But in that moment, I could see how, it's very obvious, the closing days of a dog's life, someone that's been, someone, I say, because I feel like animals are kind of people, we're connected to them. I'm certainly connected to my dog very powerfully. And yeah, I just felt the grief for the end of this dog's life, and for my poor neighbour who's, it's her everything really. And yeah, I'm grieving for Benita as well, because yeah, her life is coming to a close, and it just made me realise the other types of grief that are stored underneath for all of us. And I think midlife, it really does come at you at all angles, and I'm not saying that to make it worse, but I think we don't talk about grief enough. Yes, of course, if we lose a loved one, of course we talk about grief to some degree, usually with an expiration date that we feel like we can only bring it up for a certain period of time. But everyone is holding some kind of grief inside. Grief for our own lives as we're getting older, grief on letting go of our children if we've got them. I'm, and many others obviously, are going through the kind of stage of letting go and grief as my eldest will be going to university, parents aging or being unwell. There's just so many different areas of grief, letting go, releasing. And I don't think we do talk about this enough, and we are in denial. I know certainly I am, and that's why it kind of hit me yesterday. Gosh, I obviously knew on level that the grief is there for different things, but particularly about my children and letting them go and live their lives as they should do. That's, it's really important that I kind of no longer have a bigger job in their lives anymore. That's only natural. It's really important, but it doesn't make it any less hard. And I do feel that maybe part of our culture feels like we shouldn't talk about things too much, or we shouldn't be making too much of a big deal of it. And I'm not sharing this because I want any sympathy or any pity or anything like that at all. It's more to say, let's have these conversations, let's have our own journeys, let's be honest about what we're feeling with ourselves and with people that are close to us, or people that we feel safe to explore it with, and ask for support when we need it. I certainly will ask for support when I need it, and do ask for support. But there's no one person's journey is the same as another person with whatever we're exploring right now, with grief, with midlife, with all the things that are going on. And one thing that I have learned for myself is that I cannot compare that to anyone else. Someone else's process is very different to mine, and we need to honour ourselves and honour what feels true to us. And so, yeah, I thought I'd share that story because it did bring up some grief for me that maybe I was in denial about. And I wonder how many other of us are right now, are in kind of some stage of denial or going through the motions, knowing that, in the weeks to come that we're going to be letting go more and more of our teenagers if they're going to college. But it could be in any area of our life, what we need to let go of, what we need to release, and also honour our own grief, pain, desire, aspirations. You know, it's not one thing or the other. There's a whole rainbow, isn't there? So many different things at once. Anyway, I'd love to hear if there's any of this that resonates for you, and what's supporting you right now, and maybe what support you might need too. Because yeah, it's really important that we ask for support, and that's often a tricky one. And I'm sure I'll come back to talk about that someday too. Thanks so much for being here. Take care.